All right, I think we are live. So a little bit of a change of plans. I was going to do this live video from the toy room. I guess I can mute this. Okay, so I was going to go live in the toy room. This is my first live, by the way. So I got my iPad ready. I was going to film live from the toy room, and apparently I had set it up on my desktop, not my iPad, and now it says it'll take 24 hours. So I was either going to have to reschedule or film somewhere different. So I decided we're just going to film it from my office today downstairs, not the toy room, unfortunately. But hopefully on the next one, I'll have it ready for the toy room. So today we are going to be building this DeLorean from Back to the Future. So one of my favorite movies, obviously repping the shirt here. I got this actually for my son last week. He loves Lego. He's 17, still loves Lego. I'm 49, so I still love Lego too. You can never outgrow Lego. But I would jokingly said to him, I was like, man, I should have got one for myself. So I went back to Target the other day. I've been looking for the LJN wrestling figures that they're coming out with. I got the Hulk Hogan and Dusty Rhodes that they did on the first wave. The second wave, they're doing Ultimate Warrior, King Kong Bundy, I believe Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Jesse the Body Ventura. So I don't have those yet. I've been hunting for them. They're not technically supposed to come out until April, but they've been dropping them on the shelf. So I've been going by Target almost every day. So I picked up this the other day and thought, hey, what a fun build. We'll do a live and get to answer any questions, talk about Back to the Future, talk about the movie, talk about any of your favorite 80s movies, and we'll go from there. Happy to answer any questions. Again, this would have been way cooler if we were actually in the toy room, because I would have had all my toys around me. We could have talked about that. I do have a few Star Wars figures back here. This is a Jedi training remote. That actually spins, but it's not spinning right now. Get that going. That was built by a friend of mine, Trooper Trent. And then if you guys are familiar with starting lineup, I had a ton of starting lineup figures when I was a kid. So my office is kind of sports themed, but I do have some toys in here too. I have some toys over here too. I got some Skeletors, some Transformers, and a bunch of toy books, pretty much all down here. But starting lineup, I will probably do a video on those at some point. A lot of these are mine from my childhood that I kept way before we had the awesome McFarlane figures, which I also have several of those too. But anyway, we'll jump right in. And I have not built a Lego set in quite some time. Again, my son loves Lego and he builds them all the time. And I have helped him with several builds, but it's been a while. So, this is going to be fun, and it's going to be maybe a trial and error, maybe more on the error side. But again, feel free to chat, join in the chat, ask any questions. We can talk about the movie. We can talk about toys. We can talk about collecting. Any videos that I've done on the toy room, anything in my toys. Transformers is huge. Star Wars, G.I. Joe. You name it. He-Man, Masters of the Universe, M.A.S.K. I haven't done a video on my M.A.S.K stuff yet. I also want to do Centurions. Any video suggestions you guys have, feel free to put those in the comments. Feel free to ask. And I think I did also the history of Megaforce, which is one of the super underrated toy lines out there was Megaforce. But anyway, we'll go ahead and jump right in. I'm going to try to angle this camera down so we can see what's going on here. Again, this was not the original plan. You can see my Star Wars desktop here. And I also got my trusty popcorn. I haven't eaten lunch yet, so I got some popcorn in my 40th annual Transformers bucket. Love that thing. And I think I have everything I need to get started. Got a little bit of water here. We'll go ahead and jump in. I don't even think that's going to be in the camera, so that's even better. So again, kind of on the fly here. This was, I guess that when they say when you go live, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. And about 15 minutes before is when I decided this is not going to work. I'm going to have to film it from the office. So here we go. Let's open this bad boy up and let's get started. We are going to be building one of the most iconic movie vehicles of all time. Not just a car, but a time machine. did bring some scissors here just in case we need to. I don't want to destroy the box. My wife gets on to me because I have so many boxes that I keep, but I do like to keep the boxes when I can. In fact, I've got pretty much as many toys as I have in the toy room. I have a whole other closet that is just boxes. I'm going to try to open this without destroying it, but at the same time, we might be destroying it. I've made these quite difficult to open, unless I'm just retarded, which is also very possible. Dang. Now I realize why all my son's boxes are torn to shreds. So, I will say, again, it's been a while since I've built a Lego set. I do love that they still number the bags. So hopefully this will be fairly easy. Speaking of the DeLorean and Back to the Future, I know there's a couple documentaries on Netflix that they've done. Some decals here. Of John DeLorean, the man, as well as the company that developed the actual DeLorean back in the day. So it's a pretty cool little Lego stuff here. So this brings back memories. Again, you're never really too old for Lego. Speaking of, like, if you can remember your first Lego set that you ever got, that's a tough one for me. I had so many Lego sets growing up. I don't really remember. All right, I think we're empty. I don't remember the first one I got. I remember some of the favorite ones. There was a Lego castle that had like the knights and shining armor and the horses and all that. I loved that. I loved anything like pirate themed was great. Some of my favorite Legos. And then of course, as adults, they've come out with some fantastic sets. Two of my favorites, my son actually got, but I don't have yet. If you guys haven't seen them, the Transformers sets that they did a giant Optimus Prime, and he has the Soundwave. Oh, the Soundwave one is fantastic. I got that one for him for Christmas, and then was super jealous. I would like to get one for myself, but I think it's about 180 to 200, something like that. But the Soundwave one is awesome. They actually do transform, which is really cool. And the Soundwave one also makes noise. Like it makes the Soundwave noise. You can do Soundwave talking. It's pretty freaking sweet. I'm just going to use my box over here as my trash box. I'm going to try I don't have a huge workspace here again. I had it all set up perfectly again in the toy room, but that didn't go as planned. So we are working with what we got. And even if this is a complete disaster, I will at least have fun building some Legos today. So I'm actually a very rare occasion. Got the house to myself today. Both kids are gone for the weekend, and my wife is actually gone for the day. So I am, what better way to spend a Saturday home alone than to build some Legos? And again, we're gonna see how rusty my skills are. I mean, I know I can definitely get it done. It's a matter of how quickly can I do it. So I'm gonna eat some popcorn here too. The bare necessities. Still not as good as the movie theater popcorn, but we get the Pop Secret. It's pretty good. And again, I think we got that at, I can't remember if it was Cinemark. I want to say Cinemark. When they did the 40th anniversary, my son and I went to that. They did the first few episodes. They had a lot of commentary. They did some some of the voice actors live in studio. It was pretty cool. All right, let's get started. So I know this is going to be my bass starting piece. Oh, really? No, I'm joking here now because the first step is actually just putting together Marty, Michael J. Fox, who I am lucky enough to have finally have gotten to meet. My son and I tried to meet him several years ago. He was supposed to come to Dallas Fan Expo. Unfortunately, due to his health at the time, he had to cancel. But he rescheduled. He came back, I believe, like a year or so ago. It was the same one that we got to meet Mr. T. So pretty good day to meet Mr. T and Michael J. Fox. And Michael J. Fox was amazing. Definitely one of my top celebrities that I've gotten to meet. He was awesome. And I was, not only was I a huge Michael J. Fox fan from Back to the Future and Family Ties, but I am even a bigger fan of what he has done for Parkinson's research, Parkinson's disease. I had a grandfather and an uncle who both, unfortunately, are both passed away now, but they both had Parkinson's. So Michael J. Fox has done an amazing job with the Parkinson's research, and I was honored to get to meet him and finally thank him in person. I'm trying to figure out how the hair go. There we go. Kind of want to get that hair centered. So there's Marty, his little life preserver vest on. Must be from the Coast Guard. That scene from the movie. So that's pretty awesome. So yeah, Michael J. Fox again. I got to meet Christopher Lloyd years ago. I met him, and I've met the principal, and I met Leah Thompson, Marty's mom. So I got to actually meet them several years ago, long before I met Michael J. Fox. I have not met Biff, and there's a few other characters that I haven't met, but the main cast, I have a picture with all the guys, and then I have photo op that we did with Michael J. Fox last year. So I used to not really care about the autographs and the photo ops, but now that a lot of these guys are getting older and some are sadly passing away, it makes me realize how much older I'm getting. So I'm glad that I have taken the time to get those autographs and those photo ops. I think the photo ops to me have been better, but I do have some of the autographs too. I was going to get Michael J. Fox's autograph. There's Doc, but I opted to do the photo op instead of the autograph, and we did the same thing with Mr. T. Mr. T was awesome as well, but I will try to keep this somewhat Back to the Future themed. So we've got Marty and Doc built, and we're now on to this phase here. So again, this has been a while since I have done this. I'm thinking it's this gray right here. So if we mess this up, that's going to be interesting, but I think we can figure out how to get it done. If my son can build these, then so can I. But then again, he's built several, and I'm out of practice, so that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. No, I can't tell actually if that's supposed to. This step there, I guess we'll find out here in a minute. I think that's overlapping. Where, right here. They've done a couple different Lego DeLorean sets. There's a bigger one. This is from the Speed Champions line. So I think the total pieces on this one is 357, which my wife thought, she was like, oh my gosh, that's going to take you hours. That's terrible. And I was like, hopefully it won't take me more than an hour, but it's like, that's actually a pretty small set in the grand scheme of things. So looks like we're doing here these little corner pieces. So, were you a Marty or Doc fan? Who was the best there? I like both. I think both worked very well together. I don't think I have a preference of one over the other. Okay, that did work out. I think we're correct there. Or any favorite scenes that you had from Back to the Future as well? Don't mind me as I take a sip of water and probably need a little more popcorn. So the original DeLorean we talked about a little bit earlier was the DMC-12 built by John DeLorean. Stainless steel body, no paint. I'm trying to figure out. Okay, that one goes there. Gull wing doors. I used to think those were so cool when I was a kid. I wanted a DeLorean so badly. I think years later, and I think functionality wise, I think they were actually kind of a piece of crap. But I don't know. Never driven one. And if somebody offered me one, or if I had an opportunity to buy one, I would still do it. Would you drive a DeLorean today if you had the opportunity? I would, especially if I could build one that would be a DeLorean time machine, if it actually was functional. I mean, if we're talking about greatest TV and or movie cars, that one is definitely at the top of the list, in my opinion. I think this is wanting us to do 2 of these on the corner. But yeah, I want to think about, again, greatest. I mean, there's a list. The General Lee from Dukes of Hazzard would be cool. I actually do have that back here on one of my shelves. So my office, like I said, is mostly, there's the old General Lee from Dukes of Hazzard. And I've got a truck back here. Who can tell me what that is from? It's from an old 80s TV show. That should be fairly easy to identify if you're an 80s fan. Let's see if we can. I don't know if we're going to be able to zoom in on the license plate there. It would give it away because it does have the name of the show on there. Starring Lee Neighbors. That was from The Fall Guy. An old 80s, but A-Team Van's got to be on there. The 1989 Batmobile has got to be on. I do like the old Adam West 60s model too, but if I had to pick my favorite Batmobile, it would probably have to be the 1989 Batman with Michael Keaton version. That is my favorite Batmobile. All right, I think we're coming along here, making sure I don't mess up. Like one of these is, I know if you mess up something, you got to go back and redo the whole thing. It's been a while. I also noticed on Amazon when I bought this one at Target, again because I was been shopping for the LJN wrestling figures, but I noticed that they also make some light kits for this, so I might pick up one of those and see if I can add a light kit to it too. It's pretty cool looking. I don't know if it matters which way this goes. And I don't think I actually have that on right either. There we go. Now we're getting there. So Again, my Lego skills are a little out of practice. My friend Crystal Starr would probably give me a hard time. She's been on Lego Masters several times, a good friend of mine. So if you're watching, Crystal, I'm trying. I'm not as good as you, but I'm trying. Probably just need some more popcorn. All right. I think we're good on got something that's resembling some Legos now. Now I got to figure out this piece here. And another blue piece here. So I was kind of tracking this with the blue piece. Now they switched it up on me, so now there's gonna be a blue piece on each end. But and if you guys haven't seen Lego Masters, my son is a huge Lego fan as well. We really loved watching that show together. They've done some really cool builds on it. Cool show. Current shows. Actually, speaking of current shows, they're actually filming a TV show on our street today. First time that's ever happened. They came by last week and they're filming, I think today, between 4 and 9 on our street for season 3 of Lioness. So, all right, now I have 2 of these pieces and I'm trying to figure out where those go. I've got this here, but I'm not seeing where those are supposed to go. That's interesting. I'm on step 9 here. I guess I'm supposed to like flip this over. I've got 2 of these pieces, but I'm not really sure where those 2 are supposed to go. Ah, I see it now. I'm retarded. And this is also the beauty of going live. Don't get to edit out all the mistakes. Not that I ever make any. All the videos I've done have been completely perfect. That's a lie. All right, now on step 10, I think that is the same both ways. So now we're going to connect this piece here onto there. All right, I'm guessing we're going to stick probably some wheels here. I'm guessing this is like the body or the chassis. Not much of a car guy. I like them. I know how to drive them. That's about where that stops. I know enough to fake it if I ever have to go to the mechanic or be that guy that just tell us what noise it's making. Now, what's it sound like? That was an old Brian Regan comedy sketch. Another great comedy guy. So another bit of speaking of the DeLorean and the DeLorean being a time machine, the original time machine for Back to the Future was actually going to be a refrigerator. And they decided that it was probably not a good idea to do that. They didn't want kids trying to climb in a refrigerator. So they didn't do that. They decided to go with a DeLorean, which probably saved the DeLorean. I think it was originally a commercial failure. I think I'm supposed to actually add a piece here first. Commercial failure, but a Hollywood success. So Hollywood did kind of save the DeLorean back in the 80s. I still need to watch those documentaries again on Netflix. All right. I'm trying to keep my chat open here too. Again, this is my first live stream, so it's gonna be trial and error, probably heavy on the error side, but we'll see. I mean, like I said, either way, I was going to build this Lego set today. So I figured, why not build it live and see how it goes? Nothing to lose. I'm not trying to make a fortune off of the channel. The collecting is a hobby for me, first and foremost. I've been collecting for, gosh, I mean, I guess technically since childhood, because some of the toys in my collection are still from my childhood. But it is for fun. And I figured, I wish I would have started the channel years ago. Honestly, my son is 17 now, and we did do a lot of toy shows, toy collecting, vintage toy shops together. And I wish I would have started the channel and filmed more during the actual hunting process, because there are only a few toys left that I would still like to add to the collection. But it's mostly like grail pieces and like one-off things that I'm missing here and there. So for the most part, my wife is watching. She thinks we're done collecting. We're kind of done collecting, but look at even got the little time circuit there. That's super tiny. I don't even know if you could see that. Try. It's like my camera is angled down, so kind of hard to get that to focus. But we're moving right along here. We are on step 15, and hopefully I haven't made any mistakes. But like I said, we're doing this for fun, and figured, what the hey, we'll turn on the camera and make a go at it. And there's my video for the week. You know what? I think I actually got ahead of myself here. I did. I forgot to put these in. So hopefully this turns out pretty cool. It looks cool on the box. And again, I've got, gosh, at least two. I know I have a DeLorean model from Back to the Future 1. And I have a model from Back to the Future 2. I do not have one from Back to the Future 3, although they do make a Back to the Future 3 version. There's the other one, is if you had to rank the Back to the Future movies, what would be your favorite? That's a tough one for me. I would probably still have to go with the original. In fact, I would probably go in order that they came out. Original is my favorite. Back to the Future 2, then Back to the Future 3. But I love all of them. But the first one is definitely my favorite. All right, now I'm just trying to figure out. Let's see here. I think I need, nope. I need a rounded piece. I'm trying to look for the right piece here. Saturday, there's one. All right, so there's so many tiny little pieces that came in this box. Oh, look, we got two little time circuits there. You guys can see all this okay too. If not, let me know. No, these are going to go here. Now I kind of, this building this makes me want to watch Back to the Future. Also noticed randomly when I was at Target yesterday, they had a whole aisle of Space Jam stuff, and not the new Space Jam. To me, there's only one Space Jam. That's with Michael Jordan. But yeah, it's, I guess, apparently the 40th anniversary, and I did pick up these. They're doing some Space Jam cards. I'm sorry, the 30th anniversary. I'm not that old yet. My grades may say differently, but 30th anniversary of Space Jam this year. So had to pick up some. There is apparently a Michael Jordan autograph card in here, but I did not get that, of course. But, you know, hey, it's like playing the lottery. Can't win if you don't play. So, and plus I got some cool cards in there. I did get a Michael Jordan, but not the autograph, super expensive one, but still pretty cool. I think I got a Lola Bunny. It's like some of the team members, but there's some cool cards in there. Bring back some memories from that movie. Hopefully, by the time we get this built, we'll be able to hit 88 miles per hour, so you guys can see some serious shit. I don't know how they do that on YouTube if you're live, how they edit that out. If you just went completely crazy. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I did that one wrong. Yeah, the only problem here, now let's see if I can get this with a pen or something. Kind of got a piece in here. There we go. Need to pop that loose. And try not to take the whole thing apart here. Another Star Wars pen. There we go. I was trying to figure out how that kind of overlaps that red piece. There we go. Now we're cooking. Because I could use Doc Brown's help here today. He's not here, unfortunately. Christopher Lloyd. All right, now we are moving on to step 22. Moving right along. And we'll see, maybe my wife was right. I was like, you know, when she said this, that'll take you a couple of hours to build, I thought, no, I can surely do it in an hour, but maybe I'm wrong. Wouldn't be the first time. Actually, that's what I joke with all the time. It's hard being right all the time, but somehow I manage. All right. I think we're done with that step. Pardon me while I eat my popcorn. I was planning to eat lunch before I started this. And then because of the technical difficulties and having to film it in my office instead of having to film it in the toy room, I was like, you know what? I'll just eat some popcorn. Eat later. I think we're going to try to order some pizza tonight. Normally do that on a Friday night, but we went to P.F. Chang's last night. And then I think we're going to order pizza tonight. I don't know if you guys were on earlier. I mentioned they're actually filming today for season 3 of Lioness, which is I have not seen. It's Taylor Sheridan, same guy that did Yellowstone, Landman, 1883, 1923. I've seen all of those, but I have not seen Lioness. And it's got Nicole Kidman, Zoe Saldana from Guardians of the Galaxy, Star Trek. She's in it. So, yeah, they're filming on our street today. So the street's going to be blocked off. They are letting people come and go, but we're trying to figure out how we can order some pizza or get some food or something before all that starts, so we're not stuck here. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch how they do that. Definitely never had them film a show on my street before, so I don't know how they picked our neighborhood or why they picked our neighborhood, but pretty cool. I'm trying to organize some of these pieces now. I probably should have done that when I first opened this, so I kind of kept them together. Probably would have been a little easier to find and figure out. I am now trying to figure out what pieces they want me to grab. I think that's one of them. And then I'm seeing like a gray piece. Okay, maybe it's this black one. Just the color coding on this is sometimes like kind of hard to tell if it's black or if it's gray. But we're going to go with black because I don't see any other pieces that fit that. We're going to go there. Saturday. I also have a thing going on tonight where all 9 planets are supposed to be in alignment, which I don't believe is happening again until, they said 2040. I'm supposed to be visible, so I'm going to try to check that out tonight too. That goes there. All right, I think I got that step done. Well, we're getting there, making a little progress. I don't even want to look. 37 minutes live already. So this maybe my wife was right again. I thought, no, for sure I could do this in an hour. We'll see. I'll keep it going. If I have to, I can always turn it off and then turn it back on later. But what's the fun of that? We've already started. We might as well finish. Again, any toy questions you guys have, and if you're not watching live, you can always post questions in the comments. I have done my best to try to respond to all your questions and things in the comments. So we'll continue to do that. Obviously, as the channel grows, that will get harder and harder to respond to all the comments, but I'm going to do my best. Some tips with one of my buddies has been running, and I think he's had his YouTube channel for 5 or 6 years now. 80s Toys Rock, and that's Rock is ROC. He does more vintage, like shopping, thrifting, that kind of thing. Great channel if you want to go check out his stuff. Again, that's why I regret that I didn't start this sooner, when I was still hunting and actively buying things. I still, like I said, still am, and I still do pick up pieces every now and then, and I'll continue to update when new stuff comes in. Like I said, I've got a couple grails that I'm still missing. Two of those will be out. I just did a video on the Dinobots recently, some of my favorite Transformers of all time, and I am still missing a couple. I'm trying to figure out how this goes here. Still missing a couple of the Masterpiece Transformers. I've got 3 of them. I am missing, I believe, Snarl and Slag. And those suckers are not cheap. So those are 2 that I would still like to add. I'm wondering if I missed a piece here. It's just telling me to go right there, but you know what? Again, this is why I should have organized these pieces. That's the piece I'm looking for. Now we're talking. And hey, if you guys haven't done a Lego set in a while, I will say actually, it's been a while since I've done one, but it's kind of fun. It's kind of relaxing, and got the house to myself, no kids, and normally there's no way I could do it live. There would be too much noise, too much racket going on, but figured today was a good day to do it, and a good day to build some Legos. Even if the live is a complete flop, I got to build some Legos and have a good time today. So that is a win-win in my book. All right, look, we're putting some wheelbases on here. We're getting there, making some progress. Starting to look like a little bit of a car base now. I don't even know. I'm afraid to look. Actually, I'm on step 25, and there is 100. Let's see, 116. Well, I'm on step 25. Once again, my wife is watching. You were right. It's probably going to take longer than expected, but I'm okay with that. All right, and yes, I know that's also, if you guys have seen any of my toy videos, yes, I am married, and yes, I have a loving wife who allows me to keep an 80s toy room upstairs in our house. Now, though, we'll say my wife is not into any of that stuff at all. When we first started dating, it was a little interesting, but she does love Halloween. And if you guys have seen my toy room tour, I also have some horror collectibles up there. I'm a big Universal Monsters fan. Got a lot of those masks. I've got some life-size Freddy Krueger, Art the Clown, Michael Myers. He's my favorite. My wife also loves Halloween, so Halloween time we go all out. Our front yard, our entire house, we have a Halloween party every year. But she allows me to keep the 80s toy room year-round. And actually, fun fact, the toy room actually used to be 2 rooms. I had one room that was nothing but Detolf shelves from IKEA, a whole shelf down the wall, and I had all of that in one room with like my glass displays in the middle, and then I had shelves all the way around the outside. I think I have an early video of that room, and that was my first toy room. And then when you walked across, I had all my arcades in another room that was kind of like our game room, TV room. But her son is 12, so when they moved in, we had to condense 2 rooms down to 1, and I moved all my collectibles into my toy and movie room, a game room. So now it's kind of movie, game, toy room all together, but I actually like it better because we do go in there and play games, and we do go in there and watch movies. And when I do that, now I'm surrounded by the toys, so I get to see them a lot more. Whereas before, the only time we really went in there was I did go in there if I just wanted to kind of get away or brainstorm. I used to have a beanbag chair, and I would go and chill. Or, if anybody came over, I would give them a tour of the toy room. But that was about the only time we went in there. So now that everything is combined into one room, I can go up there and I can sit and I can chill and I can watch a movie or I can play video games, and I'm surrounded by the toys. So that is normally where I do all my filming as well. But again, I tried to do it on the iPad today. I didn't set up the live on the iPad, so now I have to wait 24 hours. So hopefully if I ever do a live again, that the next one will be in the toy room, and that was the original plan. But we're gonna make it work. We're winging it. And again, either way, I was building some Legos today, so I'm having a good time. Where you go? Got some lights. So again, I was talking earlier. They also build. I noticed they also build a light kit for this. So I think I'm going to look into getting the light kit as well, and I'll add that on here. So, all right, now we're building. Now we're cooking. Making sure I put this in the right spot here. I also should be checking to make sure my wife is not messaging me, but I put my phone on airplane mode. All right. Well, I'm guessing these are extras because I've got a few pieces here. Another little time circuit. I know they used to put some extra pieces in, so we're going to put those off to the side over here with Doc and Marty. Oh, Doc keeps falling over. He's got this giant wrench, which I don't remember him ever carrying in the movie. But we'll have Doc and Marty over here on the side kind of watching these spare pieces for us. And we are now into bag 2. So bag 1 out of the first one, we're getting a little chassis going here now. We'll tear this bad boy open. My handy dandy scissors. And on to the second bag. Oh, there's another extra piece. Put over here with Doc and Marty. All right, bag 2. What do we got? Now this time, I might be smarter and kind of separate these pieces out. Organize them a little bit so I'm not digging through a pile here when I need to look for specific pieces. Let's see here. There's a lot of little bitty pieces. When you think, I think what was it, 300 something pieces on this thing, and I thought, that's not going to be that many. But when you start getting into these little bitty bags, that's a lot. There's like a little handlebar looking thing. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of little bitty tiny pieces. Like I said, trying to organize this one. I did not do that on the first bag, and we made it work. But on this one, I am going to try to organize a little bit better. I started to watch Back to the Future while I was filming this. But also with the copyright stuff with YouTube, I wasn't for sure if they would flag it, like the audio and stuff. So I opted not to do that. I also have 3 monitors in front of me here in my office. This is again where all the magic happens during the day, so I can afford all of those toys upstairs. But I thought about putting Back to the Future on one of my side monitors to watch it while I was building this. And then I thought, you know what? I'll end up getting distracted and I'll end up watching that the whole time and not actually building. So I opted not to do that. But I have a feeling that either today or tonight at some point I'm going to be watching Back to the Future. I usually watch it at least once a year. My wife always questions that too. She doesn't understand why I watch movies over and over again. She doesn't get it. I'm like, I don't know. It's kind of like if you like a song or something, you listen to it multiple times. If you like a movie and it's one of your favorites, like why only watch it one time? And she's like, well, I've already seen it. I want to watch something new. Well, yeah, but if you really love it, there's no harm in watching it multiple times. All right, I think we're getting pretty much, I think I've got most of these pieces somewhat grouped together. Hope you guys can, yeah, I guess you guys can see most of this. I also have a monitor. Again, I'm filming this from my webcam, which was not the plan, but, you know, I'm making it work. I'm enjoying my popcorn. And I'm enjoying building Legos. And you guys can join and be completely bored to tears watching me. Chime in, chat with me. Enjoy. Ask me any questions. Toy collecting toys. And again, if you're not watching live, any future videos you guys would like to see on some of the things in the Toys room, I got some stuff planned. I want to do a Centurions. I do not have the full Centurions set. I have the main 3 guys. I want to do a video on them. I also want to do a video on M.A.S.K. I don't have the full M.A.S.K. line, but I do have the full Wave 1 and a few others. So I want to do that. Some of the, there's a lot of Transformers videos, which, don't get me wrong, Transformers is one of my favorites. Star Wars is one of my favorites. A lot of videos out there on those. I'm trying to shed some light and show some of the lesser figures that there's toy lines don't get as much love, like Megaforce, which that video actually did fairly well, and I love Megaforce. I still think it's one of the most underrated toy lines from the 1980s, and people either remember it or they have no idea what I'm talking about. So, all right, we are on to our first label here. I should have grabbed some tweezers. I've got some little tweezers that I use when I get my some of my old G1s. I've gotten knockoffs or reissues, or even on my Masterpiece figures. A lot of times I'll use decals. My hands are not as tiny as they were when I was a child. Some of those decals get a little tricky to put on, so I will use tweezers to put those on. But I think we can manage to get this centered on there. All right, so we got our first decal, just the little DeLorean decal. And we are moving right along to step 31. We're going to go with this little piece right here. Now I just got to figure out where they put it. It'd probably help if I held it the right way. Wait a minute. I think I have this on backwards, which now means that I put the decal on upside down. Hopefully I can salvage that. I think it's still hopefully got enough sticky on it. If not, I will use my handy dandy Elmer's glue trick, because I actually also did a short video on that. If you ever get decals that are peeling up on, especially on your old vintage toys, you can get a little bit of Elmer's glue on your fingers and put that down. I think this is going to work though, since I did curl it because I put the decal on in the wrong spot. But it does work. So if anybody, I am going to butcher this decal. Looked a lot nicer when I put it on the first time, but you know, we're just going to call that weathering. Let me see if I can. Yeah, completely butchered that decal because I had it on upside down, but it still went on there. That little corner piece is a little bit peeling up, but we might be able to fix that. So that was my, we'll also say, challenging part. Not only building the Lego set, but trying to talk while you're doing it and not get distracted and still try to pay attention to what you're doing. Again, this is my first live, and it was just, you know, I was like, yeah, I'm going to give it a shot. I don't have anything else better to do today. Build some Lego, go live, see how it goes. Well, if you had a time machine, you could build a time machine. Here's a good question, because I don't think I even have an answer to it. What year would you visit? You could go back to any time. Obviously, the 80s come to mind for me. But, you know, there's some cool events and times and things in history that I think would be kind of fun to go back and look at and watch also. So that's a tough one. I'd have to actually give that some thought to pick one year. I could go back to the JFK assassination. I live here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, so I've been down to that. I was really big into that conspiracy and all the assassination stuff. I could go back and try to find out what actually happened. In fact, they have done some shows on that. There was one called 11/22/63. Kind of that same idea. That was filmed here. Good. I think it's on Netflix right now, if you haven't seen it. All right. I'm just, you know, moving right along here. So, I was also big into the Civil War. I thought it was interesting. That would be kind of cool to go back to as well. Okay. One of these is going to have a gray, and one of these is going to have red. I noticed we talked earlier about Lego Masters, the TV show. Now I know why they do show the build, but you know, it's more about, they don't show the whole build. They probably do that all day long. That would get a little boring, which is I don't know if there's a way actually after I get done with the live, if I can repost this and like speed it up, time lapse it. I'm not sure. Again, this is the first time I've ever done one, so I don't know how that works on YouTube. We'll find out. But might be able to do that. Let's see here. All right. I think that goes right there. I'm really hoping that I haven't made any mistakes and put any of these pieces in the wrong place, because going back and trying to figure out where I made the mistake is going to be really fun. So we got 2 of these pieces. So we're going to do one there, another blue light. And we have now hit the 1 hour mark. So yeah, I'm going to have to tell my wife that she was right. Again, that's really hard to admit. Oh, not really. Jokingly it is, but you know. And how many of you are in the comments are married? Does your wife collect? Does your wife let you collect? My wife does not. That's not entirely true. She actually does have a strawberry shortcake collection. And not the big one. She has like the little miniature rubber, I guess it was. When I met her, she had a bunch from her childhood, and she was only missing a couple. So I was like, why don't you finish the whole collection? You're so close. So actually it helped her finish that collection. I was obviously not ever into my sister. I had a younger sister. Still have a younger sister. I shouldn't say had. But in the 80s, she was a fan of strawberry shortcake. We would sometimes play. I would get my Masters of the Universe figures or G.I. Joe, and she'd try to come in with strawberry shortcake or Barbie or something. We'd play together, but the 80s, what a great time. I'll take this, once I get this time machine built, maybe I'll go back. That would be a cool YouTube video. Me going back to the 80s, to the childhood. Man, I'll tell you what, I would just love to take a trip to Toys R Us and just do some shopping. Pay 80s prices with today's money. Man, I could rack up. I don't even think I would not even sell them, actually. I would just being able to walk down those 80s toy aisles again would be freaking amazing. I would probably be blown away by the prices. All right, man. We are on step 40, moving right along here. Getting there. What's up? Say hi in the comments. Ask me any questions. Have some popcorn. Come on. All right. Green piece here. Put that on there. Building Legos. Never too old for Legos. I'm having fun. But yeah, like I said, I'm definitely a little rusty on my Lego building skills. It's been a while. We're making it happen. That was a pretty easy step. Starting to get a little bit of a car going now. It's really cool. I think, again, once I really want to do the light kit. There's a couple different options for the light kit, but I want to put a light kit on this. It makes it look really cool. Lights up the inside of the car. Lights up some of these reflectors on the back. Makes it look like the time machine is actually firing up. It's pretty cool. Look at this. Now we even got the flux capacitor. What makes time travel possible. There's a little flux capacitor. I don't know if that'll focus or not. But getting the flux capacitor going. going back to we had talked about earlier that the original time machine was actually going to be a refrigerator. I don't really know. I'm glad they didn't go that direction. It would not have been near as cool as the DeLorean. But also that Michael J. Fox was not originally cast as Marty. It was actually Eric Stoltz. And you can still go find some footage of Eric Stoltz as Marty. That was, again, another decision I'm glad they changed, because it was not the same. I can't really picture anybody else other than Michael J. Fox as Marty. Eric Stoltz on some of the footage, not the same. And in my opinion, not as good, but it's kind of like trying to recast Indiana Jones. And Indiana Jones will forever be Harrison Ford to me. Well, at one point I actually had heard that they were going to do another Indiana Jones movie. And I think they had originally said Bradley Cooper, and then I'd heard Chris Pratt. I don't know if they're still doing that or what happened to that or where the progress is on that. Moving right along to step 43. Bring back some memories there with the old Lego instructions. If you haven't built a Lego set in a while, like I said, I've got kids. I have helped my kids build one, but my son is 17. He still builds Lego. In fact, he got some Lego sets for Christmas this year. That Soundwave one that thing is freaking amazing. And he already had the Optimus Prime one. But I have not built one on my own in quite some time, so I am testing my skills here, which has been interesting to say the least. All right, now it says I need one of these. Oh, here we go. One of these little doohickeys. I don't know what that little piece is called, but I'm going to be using it. And it's going to go right back here on the back. Cool. Done. On to step 45. Now it looks like we're going to be rotating that down. All right. Now we're going to use these two bad boys here. And another one of those. We're going to use two of those this time. And trying to figure out where the heck those are supposed to go. Looks like these go through here. Make sure, I guess all the way down. And I'll tell you, brings back some memories of Legos, but it has definitely been a while. I probably need some more popcorn. I'm not in any big hurry. I'm just killing time and enjoying the house to myself on a kid-free weekend. And wife is gone too, so. Now I am trying to figure out where they want me to put these right here. I got these two pieces that we have put together, and then they've got to go somewhere over here. Maybe I have to go a step ahead here and see where the heck they put that. If you know, type it in the comments, and then I'll just, it might be on top of those. No. Maybe right there. What am I doing wrong here? There we go. It goes right there. Push those down. That's a weird piece. I don't remember that piece Let me say, my friend Crystal Star from Lego Masters is watching. You can make fun of me later and on my Lego skills or lack thereof. All right, I'm just trying to make sure I put that in the right place. I think I did. We're going to assume. Kind of one of those things, you don't really know it's in the wrong place until it's too late. And then you get to another step and realize that it's wrong. Then you got to figure out how to go back and find the piece that you put in the wrong spot. So, some of these diagrams too, I'll tell you, it was not, some of them are pretty clear. Other that kind of leave some guessing. I think that's right. All right, I got those two pieces. Now I got to figure out where those go. Looks like they. Am I supposed to slide these on here? I think so. Well, that's kind of cool. I'm guessing that's going to be. Really don't even know actually. So kind of sliding those on. These little corner pieces here, angled. Now we got some little arms. This would have been way more exciting if I had the movie going. And I wanted to do. I actually thought about doing that. I wasn't sure on the copyright stuff. That probably would have gotten flagged pretty quickly. All right. Now I got that piece on. I think that is supposed to snap on right there. All right, cool. Starting to look like the back of a DeLorean a little bit. And we are about to be on bag 3 of the tiny little bag. So I really hope these are extra parts and I didn't miss something. I think they are, but we will find out. All right, that goes right there. And now we're going to put these extra parts over here with Doc and Marty, who are still watching over our little pieces over here. Make sure none of those pieces get lost. And we are on to bag 3. Let's go ahead and open up that bad boy. We learned our lesson from the first bag, so on this bag I will definitely be organizing the pieces again like I did on the second bag. I did not do that on the first bag. We're going to put these on here. Oh, that's cool. I don't know what that piece is. Yeah, I definitely should have eaten before I started doing this. I didn't realize how long this, I had no idea how long this is going to take, and I still don't, because we're still on step 49. Actually, we're about to be on step 50. So we're getting there. We're almost halfway through. But, you know, I think you got to build the base out here before you can. Some steps are a little bit quicker than others. Some have a few more pieces than others. And we'll see. I don't know. Depending on how long this video goes, I may or may not post the replay, because I'm not sure how that goes either. I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if I can. Never done a live on YouTube before, so this is all completely trial and error. I don't know if I can edit it or like time lapse speed it up. No idea. we'll see if I ever decide to do another live, or it was just, again, I was going to be doing this today regardless. I was going to be building a Lego. I was like, might as well turn on the camera, and that also did not work out as well or as easily as I thought. I had originally planned on filming this up in the toy room. But apparently when I set up the live, I set it up on my desktop downstairs, so my desktop was the computer that was approved, or the camera that was approved. I don't know how that works either. But when I got ready to shoot it from my iPad, it said, I think it's going to take like 24 hours to get that approved or something. So the next one, if I do it live again, I would prefer to do it in the toy room. So I'm surrounded by all the toys in the collection, and where I film all my other videos, so you guys can have more stuff to talk about and spark a little more conversation, some more ideas of future videos, questions about certain toys that are in the toy room, things that I already own, things that I don't own, that I should own, or that I want to own. That could be a long topic too. All right, now I think I'm fairly organized there. Let's get building. On to the next step. And what's funny is I still have 2 more bags, but they don't look, I don't know, you think only 2 more bags, and then you get in there and it's like all these tiny little pieces. All right, I don't know what piece I'm supposed to be adding here. Maybe this. Nope, I think it's this. There's definitely some pieces on here that I've never seen in a Lego set before, which is kind of cool. All right, got that little piece, and I think it's going to go right here. Lego it just fascinates me how they build these, how they come up with all the designs and all the little pieces, and obviously they're doing something right. They've been around forever and they're still going strong. I think when I went to Target to get this, there was a couple, probably at least 2 full aisles of Lego. So that's always good to see. Definitely. And there's something, of course, most of the sets that I want to build are not the cheap ones. They're the super expensive. Like I said, got my son the Optimus Prime and the Soundwave, which are both ginormous, but they're so cool and they actually transform. So that's pretty awesome too. So I would like to get those at some point. Looks like these go over here and then maybe angle down. I think I missed a. All right, I'm not sure. Well, at least those are angle if I did get them wrong. I think we like that. There we go. All right. Well, maybe let's do this. Let's do this. I think that's supposed to like slide over the little wheelbase here. There we go. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We're going to keep building here, though. Making some progress. There we go. Got that piece in, so that's what they old. I don't know if this has a Mr. Fusion. I don't know which variation of the time machine we're actually building. So we'll find that out too. All right. That was an easy step. One little piece there, starting to look like a time machine. I don't know, maybe these two pieces. Yeah, just have them upside down. So we got this piece here, and then I guess that piece goes like that. We're gonna guess. I think that's the only way that can go. We say some of these directions and instructions are a little bit more clear than others, but we're making progress. Well, actually, I don't even think I did that one right. I think it's like that. There we go. And those are going to go right back here. So, man, I'll tell you this, I built a lot of Legos back in the day, but this is definitely bringing back some memories and then also reminding myself how long it's been since I've built Legos. Been a bit. So, progress. Getting there. We will have a time machine before this thing is all said and done with. All right, now I need to grab two of these little black pieces, and I think these two pieces here. That looks like I'm gonna do that. Oop. Tell you what, man, it's with the my hands, like I said, are definitely bigger than they used to be when I built Legos. I guess that's a good thing. And also not makes it a little more challenging on some of these. All right, cool. I'm making sure I did that right. Let's see. That should be like that. I think that one is going to have to be on the inside. That's weird. It's kind of backwards. Like they show the directions on one side, but on the other side, there we go. That looks the same. All right. Now we're on to step 56, making progress. Again, you guys chime in if you have any questions. Again, I was hoping to film this in the toy room. That didn't work out, so I'm filming from my office. Any questions you guys have on anything in my toy room, any videos I've done, any suggestions or things you'd like to see on future videos, just want to shoot the shit, talk about Back to the Future, talk about 80s movies in general, whatever. I just was going to do this anyway. I bought this for my son, and then I thought it was so cool. He hasn't built his yet either, so I'm actually building it before him, but this will give him a little motivation, and then he'll be super jealous of mine. So so far it's turning out pretty cool. I know, like I said, I know they did a bigger DeLorean. They've done a couple of DeLorean sets, but this is from the Speed. What are called, the Speed Champions line that we're building right there. 357 pieces. And then they also have a couple lighting kits that I've seen that go with this, that where you can like light up all the stuff. It lights up the inside, the flux capacitor, makes it like look like all this is lit up, and they're not too expensive, 25 to 30 bucks, I think, for the lighting kits. So I think I'm gonna probably pick up a lighting kit. I'll kind of do some research. I saw some on Amazon. I'm gonna kind of research and see which lighting kit I want. And then I'll probably put a lighting kit on this and light her up. All right, let's see. I'm guessing those are like clear. They can't really do a clear colored thing in the instructions, but I'm guessing that's clear. It's like white. So okay, some of these instructions are a little bit better than others, and some of them leave you guessing a little bit. But like I said, if my son can figure out how to do these on his own, surely I can get through this myself. Don't be too sure, though. Let's go with that. I don't know if that's actually wanting me to do 3. So we're on step 58. It's got the red clear. I don't know if that's actually, sometimes, yep, it is wanting me to actually do 3. I have to go to the next page to, it's wanting me to go 3 deep there. Make sure those are all even. And then we'll do it again. So we're making progress. And this is a way, I'm glad I did this live and not just filming and editing, which was an option. When my iPad wouldn't work up in the toy room, I was like, you know what, I guess I could just film it and edit it. But I had no idea how long this video would be. So I was like, you know what, we'll turn it on live and see what happens, and we'll go from there. Make sure that we are interesting. Oh, okay, that makes sense. I'm gonna do that. It's gonna be the, look like kind of the tail lights there on the back. Yeah, right. Starting to look like a car. Sweet. And we'll put these on back here. All right. Making progress and having fun. Need some more popcorn. All right, we're down to step 60. Making progress. Let's go. Oh, grave thing here. That's gonna have to be flipped over. There we go. Oh man, it's a good thing I brought popcorn and water. All right. Next up is step 61. And we're going to need 1 of these, 2 of these little guys. I need 2 of these little guys and 1 of these little guys. All right. That's a good thing. I wish they would tell you on the like which one of these is, I know they put some extra pieces in here on purpose, but I don't know which ones are extra. How many? I guess they probably do at the beginning. I didn't look at that part where they maybe show you a part count, but it's like, it'd be nice to know, so I don't feel like I missed a step. Okay, I think that goes like that, and that goes like that. Oh yeah, I think I know what piece this is. Yep. Well, that's weird because they showed it, but then on the next piece they show it together. So I was wrong. I did know what piece it was though. I was right about that part. It's also wrong about how long this might take to build. But it's pretty relaxing, to be honest. So I'm having a good time. I'm enjoying it. And thanks for watching me. I guess I'm like, hey, we're hanging out, man. Chime in, chat, ask questions. We can just shoot the breeze. We can talk back to the future. Let's see. Speaking of, and I think we did talk a little bit about earlier that Michael J. Fox was not the original Marty. But when he got cast as Marty after Eric Stoltz, and I think they just were not liking the screen test, which if you've ever seen any of the screen tests, there's a reason why they were not liking it. Michael J. Fox was definitely way better than Eric Stoltz. Michael J. Fox was also filming Family Ties during the day, and then he would film Back to the Future at night. So he was filming both at the same time. Now that's starting to look like the back of a DeLorean time machine. Awesome. But yeah, Michael J. Fox was definitely the right choice there. And I'm glad they made that switch. Can't really picture anybody else other than Michael J. Fox as Marty. So let's see. I think that's supposed to go here. And we got another decal. This is again, I wish I would have brought my tweezers. My fingers, some of these little decals are so freaking tiny. Which is normally when I do this on Transformers, I use tweezers to make sure I can really line them up before putting them down. I know that one is actually, I think I got the wrong piece on here. There we go. Maybe. Actually, maybe I have that on backwards. I think it'll only go on one way, but there we go. I just had it angled wrong. So yeah, my tweezers would have definitely come in handy for these decals. There we go. Got that one on there. And I think we have to do the same thing again. I'm guessing because there's two of those. And I was right. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And then we're going to do decal number 3. And I still got a few decals left. But yeah, I definitely should have gotten my tweezers for these. probably check and see. All right. So that one is going to go right here. And then on this other side, we're going to do the same thing. That one's going to go. Well, that doesn't look right. Oh, I think I flip-flopped them. There we go. That one goes there. Had them on the wrong side. I guess it is important to pay attention to the details in the picture. There we go. Get those bad boys on there. All right. I think we're about to move on to bag 4. Got some extra pieces over here for Doc and Marty to watch over. We are down to our last 2 bags. We're getting there. Handy dandy trusty scissors. Box of trash over here. Bag 4. All right, let me make sure no one has messaged me. I think we are good to go. What's everybody up to today on Saturday? Obviously, you can see what I'm doing. Dropping popcorn. That's my lunch today, so I didn't eat lunch. Really should have eaten lunch before I started this, but you know. Now, as we learned in bag 1, I did not sort these out first. It was really a pain to try to go through the bag and find the piece that you're looking for. So I am now trying to organize these pieces together before I just start building. There's like a little steering wheel right there, maybe. Oh yeah, see the time circuits. That's awesome. There's the time circuits. That's awesome. That they even got, did they get the date right? They did. November 5th, 1955, October 26th, 1985. They even got the dates right. That's the level about Lego, man. It's just like the little details that they pick up on that just goes an extra mile, I guess. They didn't have to, they could have blurred that out, but nope. I'll tell you, that's and why I'm a Lego fan still at 49. I said, you're never too old. I used to watch, still do watch another YouTube channel, M.A.S.K, Transformers guy. He talks about you don't stop playing because you get older, or you get older because you stop playing. And I agree 1000%, M.A.S.K. Like, age is just a number, and it's only an excuse if you let it. I was telling my wife all the time, like, I don't have to grow up. Getting older, I can't really control. Haven't figured out how to stop that yet. But I don't have to grow up. Just have to get older. All right. So we're almost done here. There's a bunch of those little pieces right there. Just organizing these so when it comes time to find the pieces I want, I don't have to rummage through a whole bag. Hopefully I can keep these a little bit organized and make it a little bit easier to find the piece that I'm looking for. All right, that one goes over there. Oh, wow. All right, that's close enough. I think we can figure it out once we get going here. Here's one of these. Looks like we might actually be working on the interior. At least we're working on the front end of the car. Might be building some interior here. Have to find out. All right, that was easy. We are on to step 66. Order 66. Hopefully with a better outcome than Order 66. Star Wars reference there, if you didn't get that. Hopefully, if you're watching this channel, you probably did. But not everybody's a Star Wars fan. That's okay. I am, and I am a fan of 80s toys, obviously. But really like a lot of things. Variety is the spice of life. That's the same. I think that's the same. All right, we're going to go 5 of these bad boys. And then there's one black one. Making sure that's the right piece here. I think so. I believe that is correct. Now we got another decal coming up here. Decal number 2. Really wish again that I had brought my tweezers. I thought I had all my tools that I would need before I started building and filming, but yeah, that one was actually not too bad. That one went on pretty easy. All right, now looks like this is going to go over here on the side. I bet you that's like maybe part of the door. Not sure yet. All right, now I need one of these, and one of these. And we're going to go here with that one. Here with that one. Make sure those are pushed in good. All right, I don't know what piece that's going to yet, but we got a little side going now. 69. That was what step we're on, by the way. No innuendos whatsoever. All right. Let's see here. Looks like that needs to go. That. And that needs to go like that. Maybe here. I think so. Yeah, I think we did that right. Now Yeah, that's going to be gray. It's like sometimes the gray and the white. It's like, which one do they want you to use? Could be a little bit better on the color coding, but I'm going to go there. I'm going to go here. I bet you that's going to be our steering wheel slot right there. Maybe. Oh, need some popcorn. I will say, again, I'm glad I did this live because it was taking way longer than I thought it would. But I'm not a quitter, and I'm going to be here finishing it anyway, so I'm here till this thing's built. There's our steering wheel. That's awesome. I think I'm putting that in the right spot. Maybe not, actually. No, I think it goes there. I think I did that right. Got a little steering wheel going in there now. And now the time circuits. That's awesome. Oh, that's what I get for trying to turn the steering wheel. It does not turn. It still looks cool. And we got the time circuits in there now. All right. 73. Moving right along. This is going to be a decal. Now this one could be a little tricky. That's where I need my tweezers. All right. That's going to be decal 5. We only have a couple decals left, it looks like. Maybe 2 that I haven't used. So we're getting close. This is just part of the dash. Got that little decal on. Adding that in here. Oh, I guess that's supposed to be a mirror. All right. Our whole dashboard in there with the time circuits. The time circuits are awesome. I wish I could zoom in on that a little bit closer just to show the detail. They actually got the dates and everything on there, right? Red letter date in history. November 5th, 1955. The day that Doc bumped his head on the toilet and invented the flux capacitor, which is what makes time travel possible. All right. Looks like we're doing the same thing we did on the other side of the door here. Line up 5 of these bad boys and a black one. And another decal. So I think we're down to our last decal. We got 1 left. I'm getting close. So, did not expect this to go over an hour. We're approaching 2. So again, I have to swallow my pride and tell my wife she was right when she gets home, that it indeed did take over an hour. I was like, oh no. I was like, I can knock this out in an hour, but you know, it's been a while since I built Lego and by myself. But I'm enjoying it. I'm actually having fun. Brings back some memories, and got my popcorn. It's fun. No regrets. All right. One of these. One of these. And one of these. We are doing pretty much the same thing we did on the other side over here. But yeah, I had no idea this was gonna take as long as it did. You think, I was like, 300 something pieces, like I'll be fine. I'll be able to knock this out in no time. My wife was like, that sounds like a lot of pieces. Sounds like you're going to be doing that for a couple hours. Do you know how long it's going to take? I was like, no, I have no idea, but got the house to myself. Kids are gone. I'm going to build some Legos either way. I'll just throw on the camera. Do a little live. And again, we're just going to plan on doing that up in the toy room. And I didn't set it up right on my iPad. So now I've got to wait 24 hours or something before I can. So hopefully the next time I do a live, it will be in the toy room. That was the original plan. Did not work out that way. Let's see here. I think that is going to go there. And then there. And here. I'll get two of these little blue pieces here. Oh, man. Yeah. Good times. Now I'm like, oh, gosh, this one's the 300 again. Let's see. 357 pieces for the Speed Champions. Like I said, I know they have the bigger one, I believe, is even like 10,000 pieces or something, but Lego's still going strong. So do you prefer, type in the comments, I guess, if you prefer Lego now or Lego in the 1980s? Have they come a long way? I think so. Now that's why they give you extra pieces, because I just dropped one of those little bitty blue pieces, and I think it rolled across the floor. I don't even see that one. I got lucky earlier when I dropped one, and it dropped right in front of me, but I have no idea where that one went, so we'll find that one later. It was one of these little bitty blue pieces, one of the like little light things or something. So we'll figure that out later. But yeah, Lego now or Lego in the 1980s? I would love to hear your opinion on that and why. That's a tough one for me. Obviously, I built a lot of Legos as a kid, so the nostalgia and the memories and all that, I would go 80s. But they have some really cool sets out now, and I still enjoy building and collecting them. So I don't know which one I would pick. I don't think you can go wrong either way. I mean, it's still Lego, so there's not a wrong answer. Just curious what your opinion would be on which is better. Or no, maybe not even better. Maybe that's not the right question. Which you prefer. Maybe not which is better. But all right, got that little piece done. Making progress. I hope so. We're going on almost 2 hours now. Crazy. Oh, you know what this is? I bet this can be the seats. Kind of looks like little seats, maybe, to go in our DeLorean cockpit. All right. We got that. That. Did you collect Lego as a kid? Do you still collect Lego? I don't know. I don't know that I would say collect. I was obviously built Lego when I was a kid, and I obviously had 80s toys when I was a kid. I never really thought of it as collecting probably then. It was just, I wanted the toys because they were cool, and I liked the cartoon, or I liked the series, or I liked the toy, and I wanted it. I don't think I ever really thought of it as collecting, but I do have some pieces now that I have bought. Of course, now I get down to this one piece that I dropped, the little bitty blue piece that I can't find. And of course, that's the piece that I need. Only 20. Hey, thank you, Chopaverse. Only 22, but I would say Lego sets were better when I was younger. Could be nostalgia, but I'm rebuilding all the sets from. That's awesome, dude. From 2000, rebuilding all the sets from 2008 to 2018 collection. I love that. And I would probably have to agree with you, man. I'm 49, but I would say nostalgia wise, the Legos when I was a kid was pretty cool. But the fact that you're going back and actually building Legos from 2008 to 2018, that's awesome, man. All right. Now, I've got to find that blue piece that I dropped. Good thing I have my phone here. Check in with the wife. So, yeah, I'm about to turn on the flashlight here. So I dropped one of those little blue pieces. And you notice I have a whole pile over here of extra pieces that they sent. You know what? I just see, I do see a blue. Oh, I found it. So the one piece that I've dropped the entire time would be a piece that I would actually need. But I found it. So we're back in business. All right. She is going to pick up some pizza, so that's awesome too. I don't know if I was talking earlier, we have a film crew they are filming season 3 of Lioness on our street tonight. So from 4 to 9, they're like blocking off the whole street. They've already got cones. And they're doing like a whole scene up and down our street today for season 3 of Lioness. So I have not seen it. Now I kind of want to watch it because I've never had them film a TV show on our street. So that's pretty cool. So we're going to be checking that out tonight. And yeah, I mean, they told us we could come and go, but they literally have like the whole street blocked off. They're shooting like driving scenes or something. So we have no idea. I know, I think Zoe, is it Zoe? So it's not Saldana. I could be wrong. The girl from Guardians of the Galaxy, she's in it. Nicole Kidman is in it and is also a like producer or director or something. So yeah, they're going to be filming on our street tonight. So it's going to be interesting. So we're trying to, that is awesome. Now this is a little thing I love about Lego. So we get to step 87 and then we get to 88. And of course they did the 88 miles per hour with the lightning strike. And that's awesome. Cool little detail there. But again, we were talking about details earlier, like on the time circuits in here. I don't even know if you probably can even see that right there. I wish I could zoom in on that. I'm using my webcam, but just they put the actual dates on there and just the little details that they put in here and going that extra mile just makes it all, you know, that's just something Lego does very well. That's why they have stood the test of time and still going strong, really. And I don't know, hopefully they're not going anywhere. I don't think so. All right. We only had 2 extra pieces in that bag, so we are down to the last bag. Bag number 5. Finally. Making progress. And of course, inside of that bag is another bag. Okay. What are those, the Russian doll toys? And we also have our 2 antenna over here that we're going to be using. I'm sure those are for the time machine. I think, actually, oh, that's cool. There's the top of the car. We got some tires in here. So we're getting there. Another antenna. I'm trying to organize, like I said, on the first bag that I did. I made the mistake of, it wasn't really a mistake, but I didn't organize my pieces. So I am trying to do that. These are probably the hubcaps here. Trying to kind of organize these so they're a little bit easier to find when I need the piece I'm looking for. I at least have them kind of gathered up here together. So we're getting there. Yeah, I see a really cool piece here. I know what that is. Got the, if anybody can tell me before I show it, what did the license plate say on the Back to the Future DeLorean? That's a pretty easy one if you're a Back to the Future fan, but just type it in the comments and see if anybody can get that correct. The license plate on the DeLorean. What did it say? Pretty basic. All right, let's see here. And again, if you're not watching live, still feel free to post in the comments. No. Somebody should get that one. Alrighty, I think we are just about ready to start building. And here is the license plate. Out of time. So I know where that's going to go. All right, I think pretty much have our pieces organized, except for this bag that I forgot to open. Oh man, there's some really tiny pieces in that one. Oh, 2 more I didn't even get out. Whoop. Don't want to drop one of those. Thought it took me a while to find that blue. It's going to take me even longer. Ah, yeah, they did do the Mr. Fusion. That's awesome. I don't know if you can see that or not. Little Mr. Fusion. I was wondering which version of the time machine this was going to be. But now I know. And we'll see if there's just kind of organizing this last bag. We're on the very last bag here, so we should have, this bag is done. We should have a DeLorean finally 2 hours later. I did not think it was going to take that long. My wife is going to laugh at me because she was right. I was wrong for the first time ever. Some of these little bitty pieces on this last bag. Just about. One reason I'm doing this is the first bag, I did not organize my pieces, and then I was like digging through the bag trying to find the piece I was looking for, and that didn't work out so well. So there we go. Hopefully, when we get done with this last bag, we will have a DeLorean time machine. Darn close. And now we are going to be using, let's see, one of these pieces, one of these pieces, and I think these two here. So I don't know why they had all those pieces in the bag and then another bag inside the bag. I feel like there should have been some type of system behind that, or an order, or I don't know why they did that. But, all right, there's the front part. And then do that part there. That part there. Just our little mirrors there. Now I'm looking because that is actually going to overlap. Maybe that's supposed to overlap. I don't think so. That's what I did. Oh, maybe that's supposed to go here. There we go. I had that piece back a little bit too far. Now we're cooking. That looks like it's supposed to be flush, but that's actually down a level. So hopefully I didn't miss something. But maybe I did. Now I'm curious. Now I got to go back and look and see if I missed something there. I don't think so. But I'm curious. Because if that's supposed to be flush, definitely don't want to make that mistake. Again, this I talked about earlier. If I miss a step, then it's going to be a pain in the butt to go back and figure out what I missed. Okay. It's really hard to tell. I feel like that looks right. And that looks right. It's that piece right there. I feel like there's supposed to be like something right here, maybe. I don't see it. Let me see here. Now I'm looking at the box and I'm like, did I mess something up? Yeah, that's definitely supposed to be even. Okay, now I got to figure out what did I mess up here. I don't think it's that. No. to be something. So I'm going to put that on. That shows to be even. Well, that's fun. This is, again, the joy of going live. I think I missed, I don't know, I think this part's supposed to be even. Over here. I wonder if that. I think that's maybe what it was right there. We're gonna back it up here. I got a little excited because we were down to the last thing. You know what? That's where it is right there. I put this piece, should be right there. There we go. That wasn't too bad. So I did miss a piece in the wrong spot. I had this gray piece over the red, but it's actually supposed to be down there where it was flush. I was like, why is that? And that would have made my hood uneven. Now we're talking. That makes a lot more sense. And that would have been the hood of the car. So I was like, wait a minute, that's not lining up. Now we're talking. There we go. Now we got a hood that's lining up and even. So we're making some progress. All right. Well, then we talked about best 80s sci-fi movie. We haven't talked about that. That's a really, really tough one for me because I love so many. And then you could get into a whole argument of like, what are you considering sci-fi? What are you not? A lot of great ones come to mind. And is Ghostbusters sci-fi? Is Terminator, E.T., The Goonies, Back to the Future? I guess it all depends on what some classify Star Wars as sci-fi. I think it's still more adventure, really, but technically gets thrown into sci-fi. So I guess it all depends on what you would categorize as sci-fi. But so many great 80s movies, like even if you just didn't go sci-fi alone, so many great movies from the 80s. That's got not only on my huge toy collection in the toy room upstairs, but got a really large movie collection too. So movies and music were always two of my favorite things. I played in a band for several years. Never quite made it, but did get to play several shows, did get some radio play, but never got a record deal. Never made a lot of money as a broke musician. But movies and music were always have been and still are two of my favorite things. So, all right, we are about to get a top of the car here. I know what that is. So we're getting close. Getting to the exciting part. The boring part, I think, is building the chassis and like making sure you're getting all the boring part done. Now we're getting into the fun stuff. Okay, that's gotta go on there. Okay. It's not on there very good, it doesn't feel like, but we do have the top of the car on there. So we're starting to look like a DeLorean. Finally. And again, you guys have any recommendations for future videos, any things you'd like to see, any questions from past videos or the toy room itself. It is all free game here. Ask away. Comment. Tell me your favorite toys. What do you collect? There we go. Looking for those two pieces. Now we're going to do this. I'm assuming these are white. Yeah, I don't see any gray ones. Sometimes it's like hard to tell if they want you to do white or gray. It's been a while, like I said, since I have built a Lego build, but man, I have really enjoyed it. And it's been fun. It's kind of, I don't know, it's like peaceful, relaxing. Also, it's been quiet today because kid-free, wife's not here, even though she probably will be back before I finish this video, which I thought I would actually be done, but she said when I told her this thing was like 300 and how many pieces? 357 pieces. I was like, oh, I'll knock that out in an hour. But no, I've been going for a little over 2 now, but we're getting there. And she was like, oh, that sounds like it's going to take way longer. I'm like, nah. She was right. Hopefully she doesn't watch this. So. Probably not, in all honesty. So no worries there. I could say all kinds of stuff. If she does watch, I doubt she'll watch the whole thing. So maybe she won't see the part where I admitted that she was right. Don't tell her. All right, cool. That is done. We'll set that aside. Now we got these 2 little guys and these 2 little guys. I think these go in here, but how do they want that? That's the question. I guess it doesn't really matter. As long as it goes in. Or does it matter? I think it's got to go this way. There we go. Figuring it out. Like I say, it's been a long time. End up usually helping my kids, but which really actually the last few builds my son has done, I haven't had to help him at all. So I should have had him do this video. He's probably better at it than I am. But that wouldn't be as much fun. All right, now we need two of these, and I'm guessing the dark gray. Again, sometimes the dark gray, the light gray, like not really sure which one they're wanting, but I think this is all we have left, so I'm going to go with those. We're building the grill here, probably the front of the car. Yeah, these are starting to curve around. And then it looks like we are on to our last decal. It's just going to be that DMC, DeLorean Motor Company. I jumped the gun. That's going to go here. And again, wish I had done my tweezers. There we go. DMC, DeLorean Motor Company. I should have asked. You guys knew what that was. That stood for. All right, we're about to put the front end on here. Sweet. Front of the DeLorean and back of the DeLorean. So we're making some progress. We're about to have a car. And we are on to step 103. One of these. And one of these. And one of these. Actually, I think they want to go like that. All right. And that's going to go over here on the right side. That's cool. Goes all the way around. All right, now this is a really fun build. If you guys are Back to the Future fans, I would recommend this build. It is I got this one at Target. I think it was like $27. So not bad for a little DeLorean, and you get Doc and Marty too. Not bad at all. So talking about 80s movies too, do you guys prefer the practical effects from the 80s or new CGI and I guess now even AI stuff that they're doing? I still like the practical, but I also know they're starting to do some things where you can kind of make it look like it's old school, I guess. All right, now see, these I actually thought were going to be antenna, but it looks like they go down the side of the car. There's like the wires that go down the side. So now I got to figure out, I guess you hook this here. Kind of goes on that little hole right there. And then it's going to go down here. And I guess underneath. This, I'm not really sure. Actually, wonder if that actually goes across and then connects over here. Yep. So that seems really loose. I'm not sure if I did that right or not. Maybe it was like that. Kind of angle it a little bit more. I think it's supposed to go like that. So you got it kind of coming out on both sides and then going underneath the car. But it doesn't really hold. There's not really anything underneath it to hold it. But that looks right. But that would not be the first time I've been wrong on this build. So yeah, we're gonna. And this one connects there, and then it has a little holder here. And it's going to go through there. And I guess, you know what I'm thinking now? Maybe those are not the same length. Maybe one is longer than the other. No? course, I pulled that part off. Oh, crap. There's the other downside of Lego is trying to get stuff in the right place and then knocking something else off. I just knocked off the tail end there, but I got that fixed. So I'm trying to figure out, let's see, if one of these, yep. I don't know. They both look to be about the same length. So I'm trying to figure out how that's supposed to work. Or does it just go down the side? Maybe it doesn't go underneath. Maybe I'm wrong. They don't really tell you in the directions here. Maybe it hooks through like that. And then around like this. There we go. Maybe that I think I did have it wrong. So it just goes down the side. So you hook this one here in the back, bring it underneath here, kind of loop it through that, and loop it through this, and there. Whoop. There. And then there. There we go. Figured it out. I was doing it wrong. Shocker. All right. 106. I got these two little doohickey things. Actually, I don't even know if that's the right piece. I think so. But I don't see. It almost looks like there's like a circular thing that's supposed to be on the top of it. Yeah, I don't think that's the right piece. What am I missing? These, there we go. That's what they want. Those plus two of these. And then I think that goes here like that. And that goes here like that. And then these are going to go, I think, on there, maybe? Or there. I think they go there, yeah. And then this goes down in the... Hey, we're getting there. Kind of tricky. That was a tight squeeze on that one. Now we need these little arm things. What does it say? I hope they gave me just one of those because I don't see another one. And that is going to go on the right side here. Over that. So, man, they got a lot of like little bitty details, especially here at the end. Looks like we're going to be using these two guys. And coming around here on that. And then around here on that. Sweet. Get those on. They're starting to look like a time machine. We got one more of these bad guys right here. And that's going to go down the side. Man, I'll tell you, I want to get that light kit now and really light this thing up. But God, I don't know if I'm going to have to like rebuild, if I should have done the lighting thing from the beginning and maybe built along with it. Yeah, I jumped ahead. So when I did the little hose things, I already did. I think I was supposed to do one side at a time, but I already did both. So already done with that. And then this is supposed to go down here. Interestingly, I don't know. That doesn't seem right. Trying to get the little curved pieces here on the back, which is supposed to all line up, but I don't know if I'm doing that right. It seems like that would work. And maybe that's why. Another piece that was in the wrong spot there. I'll show you on the other side because I think it did the same thing. So it was one of these, like, you don't really notice it until the end. So over here, this piece right here I had down too far. That actually needs to come up and fit flush. And then this goes there. That is a tight squeeze, but it works. And then I should have this piece that can go there. Now we're talking. All right. And I think I already did that too, so I jumped ahead on some of these. And this kind of angles to make it kind of sort of fit. It's not bad. Like I said, I'm actually pretty impressed with the details on this thing. Okay. Well, those just kind of fit on the back there. It really is looking like a time machine, so I'm impressed. So that is, it looks like there's a couple different models here. So you can do this version, and then you go to 122, which would be that, or you can do the flying hover version of 128. So I don't have a stand for this yet. I did see that there's some display stands that you can get that kind of make it look like it's flying. I do have a model of the DeLorean from Back to the Future 1 and 2 upstairs. I'm probably going to just do the normal 122 page version, which means that will be from Back to the Future 1. It will not have the Mr. Fusion. But it really is cool that they give you both options. So there's the out of time license plate. Very cool. very cool that you can, like I said, I can change it up later if I want to do the other version, but kind of feeling Back to the Future 1. The question is, where the heck? So I got this too. I'm not exactly sure where that's supposed to go. I've got this. We have to like pull this up. There we go. There's the getting ready to hook up for the lightning so we can get back to 1985. And now we're going to put our hubcaps on. Make sure we're doing this right here. Actually, I think they go like that. And then that. Yeah, they only go in one way, so they made that pretty easy. And these should go in here. Oh, I'm about to have some tires on this bad boy. So speaking of movies earlier, and what's best 80s soundtrack? And then I also want you to tell me we were talking about my wife doesn't like to rewatch movies. What's the most rewatchable 80s movie? I would argue that it might actually be Back to the Future. Because I can definitely watch that anytime. And I said, in fact, I think I may watch it right after building this DeLorean. Right. Now we have tires. Woo! That's actually real. Oh, it does. That's awesome. It actually rolls pretty good. I guess that's why it's called the Speed Series. Now, I did see here you can also remove the top and put Doc and Marty in, which I am going to do. So we're going to take the top off. We got our little Marty. I wonder if his hands will actually fit on the steering wheel. Pretty close. And then I'm going to take the wrench out of Doc's hand. And we're going to put him in this time. Now, what we are missing is Doc's dog. Would have been a nice little touch. Einstein or Copernicus, depending on which dog in which movie. There we go. Doc and Marty are in the time machine. That is awesome. And I think we are done. Woo! 2 hours and 40 minutes later. So you can also, like I said, there is a version where you can do the Mr. Fusion. And you can go that route as well. That's cool. And they even have a different license plate for that too. Not the out of time, but different license plate. The Mr. Fusion. You can do the flying version of the DeLorean and go for more of the Back to the Future 2 look. But that's it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I know this was the first time I ever went and did a live. It was way longer than I thought. I did not get to film it in the toy room like I had originally hoped, but hopefully on the next one I'll be set up for that. So please hit me up in the comments or message me on the channel, whatever. I do reply to those. I do read them all. I do try to respond to all the comments. If you guys have any questions about anything we've done before, any toys, anything that you've seen in the toy video that I haven't done a specific video on that you would like to see more details on, hit me up. Any ideas you have, message me those. Try to get it done. But there is our time machine. So we are headed back to 1985, and we will continue to do that on this channel. Thanks for joining me. It was fun. And again, message me. Let me know what you guys want to see, and we'll do our best to get it going. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much for following, liking, subscribing, hitting those notification bells. Really does help the channel, and we continue to grow it. So we really appreciate it. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.